Hello everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Coaching Think Tank. I am Coach Maan from Life Coach Philippines, and this is Coaching for Healthy Mindspace. So this coaching conversation is for individuals who desire to take charge of their lives and be obedient in the purpose and calling that God has given them through the renewing of their minds. It is my mission to help people navigate through life's challenges and help them get unstuck with their emotions, their thoughts, and live a life full and abundant, submitted to the purpose and will of God. So again, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Medyo halata bang kinakabahan. This is my first time and I'm really grateful that you took the time of your afternoon to spend it with me. Please let me know where you are coming from. Just type in the comment section where you are located right now and feel free to tag your family and friends who you think will benefit from our conversation today. I would love to have them join the conversation. And if they cannot join us right now, then later pa sila titingin or later pa kayo makakanood, just type hashtag replay in the comment. So I am streaming via Facebook page of Life Coach Philippines and also in YouTube, the YouTube channel Coach I Connect. And I would like to encourage you to share whatever realizations and thoughts that will come to your mind later during the flow of our conversation. And don't forget to type in hashtag pack my bag moment and hashtag coaching think talk so that when people read it naman, they would know that you got it from our conversation today. So there. Di ba, ang daming nangyayari sa mundo and right now, I know some of you are even in the middle of the pandemic. So parang parang ang daming kailangan labanan, pag-iisip, and mga bagay-bagay. And since the beginning of time, actually, I believe that battles have been fought around us. Diba? Throughout history, it has been a way of life. From the Garden of Eden, diba? The battle between good and evil, light versus dark, or even the battles fought for territories and land. Our nation, as an example, diba? And also there are some battles that are quite simple. Punk versus hip hop, or are pineapples allowed or should be in pizza or dapat wala, o diba? Or there are some battles naman that have a more significant impact in our lives, and this could be battle for oppression, injustice, racism, and the like. But I believe that the most important battle we face right now is a battle that usually goes unnoticed in our lives. And we are not even aware most of the time that we are fighting this battle. It's the battle inside our minds. It's a fight we are engaged in 24 hours a day, 365 days in a year. It's a battle that is intense, it's vicious, and it's never ending. And I say that it's the most important because the thoughts that come to our mind will determine how we will feel, how we will think and act in the present moment. And what we think shapes who we are and how we live. So, Christian pastor Craig Rochelle once said that our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Whatever gets in your mind gets you. O, diba? How powerful that is. And a lot of battles are won and lost in the battlefield of our mind. So today, I want to share with you 5 strategies that you can fight and win in this battle. So if you ever hope to be victorious in this area of your life, if you ever hope of defeating the cycle of negative thoughts and emotions that paralyze you, then you must be resolute and actively engaged in this fight. So let's begin. The first is that we must pay attention to our inner monologue. What you tell yourself matters because the words that you think and say to yourselves influence greatly your emotions and your actions. Experts say that there are around 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts that come to our mind every single day. So that would be an average of 2,500 to 3,000 thoughts in an hour. So how many of you agree that that is a lot? Diba? Those are a lot of thoughts. And just imagine if out of these 60,000 thoughts, majority of it would sound like these. I am not good enough. I will fail. I will not make it. I am not worthy. I don't have any value. I am useless. Diba? These words can pile up, and eventually, when you say it often enough, long enough, you actually start to believe it. When you pay attention to your inner monologue, you look closely on what area you are being negative and critical of, and you take note of these criticisms. Because as soon as you pay attention to your inner monologue and you are able to recognize these thoughts, these words that have a negative impact on you, then it's already the start of the battle. You can already go on to the next step, di ba? Which is to challenge your thoughts. Okay, so the first step is to pay attention to your inner monologue, and the second is to challenge your thoughts. So when I say challenge your thoughts, you have to ask yourself, you have to question it. Where is this thought coming from? Is there a basis or evidence for this thought in my life? And you can ask these questions. What are you hearing? What are you thinking? And what are you believing? Oftentimes, we believe that whatever we think naturally, just because it occurred in our mind, is true. Diba? But that is so far from the truth. Just because you thought it doesn't mean that it's actually true. The world feeds us with a lot of ideas, a lot of words, philosophies, ideologies, and not all of them are true. Diba? Example, I don't want to pay my taxes, well, the right amount of taxes, because I don't believe the government is doing a good job using these taxes that I pay. Does it make it right for me to do that? No. In fact, it's actually illegal, right? But that is my thinking. That is the thought that comes into my mind. And again, it's an example that it doesn't make it right. So that's why we have to be very careful to challenge the thoughts that come to our mind. Because we have a lot of influences. We are sponges by nature. Diba? Kung anong naririnig natin, pasok. Yan. And it has to be we have to be very active in assessing each and every thought that comes to our mind, because that is the way that we will be able to also understand what we can do with this thought. Diba? Ito bang thought na to, will I act on it? Will I decide on it? You only know that when you start challenging the thoughts that come to your mind. Okay. Now, the third is, after you have challenged these thoughts, what do? You bring your thoughts into submission. In any war or battle, one of the goals is to make the enemy submit. Diba? Usually, pag napasubmit mo yung leader nung kalaban mo, medyo panalo ka na. In some cases, the battle plan is to take a key person from the enemy and hold him or her captive. Diba? Kasi lalo na if the leader that you take prisoner of or take captive of is a key mind dun sa strategy ng kalaban mo. So on the upper hand ka na. And I remember watching UFC fights. Some belts and fights are won not with a knockout, but through submission. Yung hindi na kinaya ng kalaban, so nag-tap out na siya and panalo na, 'di ba? The losing side, no, it's really hard to fight against the winning side. Syempre naka-upper hand na. So nag-submit na lang siya and he accepted that he is already defeated. So we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. So I'm saying this because this is how we will bring into submission our thoughts. We take captive every thought and to make it obedient to Christ. We must bring it in obedience to Christ and align it with the truth of His Word. When I say submission, hindi lang naman siya yung sige, nakuha ko na tong thought na to, sige, hindi ko na siya iisipin. It's not as simple as that. It's really about assessing that thought and putting it in alignment to what is the word saying about this. Is this something that is truthful? Is it something that is really what God is telling about me and about my life? And Jimmy Evans said it. You have to take every thought captive or your thoughts will take you captive. And we know that many times, diba? One single thought, because we were not able to take captive of it. We were not able to submit it. Sa halip na mangibabaw tayo sa thoughts natin, yung thoughts natin ang nangibabaw sa atin. And then it became a ripple effect in our emotions, in our actions, behavior, Sunod-sunod na per day because of that one time that we were not able to take captive of that thought. So it's very important. Of course, other times, most of the times, even, we are called to fight back. 'Di ba? Minsan isip natin, submission, sige, nasubmit na. Pero kailangan mo lumaban eh. It's very important for to have that healthy mind space. You have to fight for it. Hindi mo siya basta-basta makukuha, hindi siya basta-basta ibibigay sa'yo. The battle for your mind is not a passive activity. In fact, it's an active fight that you must engage in every moment. Usually kasi this is what we do. We only fight back when the negative thoughts and emotions are too much for us. It's already overwhelming. But this is how you fight back. You don't let it overwhelm you. Active mo siyang nilalabanan. Because again, what you think affects your feelings and your behavior. So the question now is, how do you fight back? Earlier, I said that not everything we think is true, and then if it is not true, it follows that it is a lie. So, how do you fight back? You replace the lie with the truth. Go back to what the Lord says about you. And these are just some of the examples I want to share. Diba? Sometimes you believe, I am a failure. But the truth is, you are not. Because in Romans 8:37, it says, no, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. So there's an equivalent truth to the lie that we feed our minds. Another example would be, I won't be able to get past my mistakes. This will haunt me forever. Ako na to. But the truth is, there is now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. And this is true. This is written. Another lie that a lot of us believe in. I am not lovable. Yesterday we just celebrated Resurrection Sunday. And what is the impact of that? What is the truth behind that celebration? That God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him should not perish but have eternal life. You are lovable. God gave His Son for you so that you may live. How can you say you are not lovable? How can you not believe that your value, you are lovable so much? Because the value of that love is that God gave Jesus for you. And that's just something that we need to hold on, these truths. Diba? Because as I've mentioned again earlier, the world will feed you with a lot of lies. So you have to counter it with the truth. There is no other way. You cannot just disregard the lie. You cannot just say na, hindi ko na ito iisipin. Hindi. It has to be replaced with the truth. Because kung ano yung nandyan sa utak mo na hindi mo pinapalitan, it stays there. And it's not healthy for you. It will continue to affect you negatively, and it will continue to show in your behavior. So once you know these truths, what do? You start declaring and claiming it in your life. And as you fill your mind with these truths, your emotions, your outlook, and your behavior will follow. Again, it's not instantaneous. But you have to find the truth, the equivalent truth for that lie that was fed on you, that you held on to, that you believed in. Because there's always an equivalent truth for that lie. And of course, after you fight back, what's next? What's the last strategy? It's important for us to think purposefully and reframe your thoughts. Diba? We have to filter what we consume. We have to be careful with what we consume because there is a saying. It says, diba, garbage in, garbage out. And that still remains true today. What you put in your mind, that is what you will give out. Because again, out of the overflow of your heart, that is what you give out. So even with our minds, diba, what you see, what you hear, and what you allow in your thoughts will determine what will come out of it. And in fact, Apostle Paul, in his letter to the Philippians, captured it in this truth when he said, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And when he said, think about such things, he really meant to say, focus on these things. Instead of the garbage that we put in, instead of the non-filtered thoughts, instead of the words of people that we allow in our lives, but doesn't really, encourage us. Instead of allowing them to speak into our lives, we have to be very careful, and we have to be, we have to focus on the things that would really bring value to our lives. Sometimes, diba, we allow people to speak into our lives, but that's also one thing of making sure that we reframe our thoughts and that we think purposefully. We choose the people that we will allow to speak in our lives, because not everyone, sadly, has our best interests at heart. But then that's how you will be able to really ensure that um, you get the garbage out and the good things only. Kasi you already have these people na alam mo na through thick and thin will believe in you, who cares for you. And those are the people that you allow to speak, diba? Think of such things. Focus on what they're saying. Focus on the people that matter to you. Sometimes we focus too much on what people who we don't know and don't matter to us, what they will say, rather than the people who believe in us, the people who have been praying for us, who have been encouraging us. Let us think of those things. Let us focus on what they are saying. And, there will always be something to fill our minds. So that's why we have to be very cautious how we feel it. It's not just a matter of resisting the negative and unhealthy thoughts, but about truly replacing it with something else that is beneficial, healthy, and true. Just what I've said earlier. You replace the lie with the truth. Because hindi pwedeng wala lang. Hindi ka pwedeng magtanggal sa utak mo nang wala kang pinapalit. Dahil pag nagtanggal ka, meron at meron papalit dyan, whether you are aware of it or not. So instead of just allowing something that you're not aware of, might as well be purposeful in what you put and what you feed yourself. So at least alam mo na, eto yung nakukuha ko, most likely ito ang ilalabas ko. So it's not going to be an easy thing to win the battle in our minds. But as we continue to fight for it, there will be, there will be good benefits, there will be good advantages, and it will really lead us to have a better, what do you call this? It would, when we filter what goes in our mind, then we know exactly how our emotions and how our actions will be, kasi naka-align siya eh. Hindi naman siya yung tipo kung ano nilagay mo sa utak mo, iba yung lalabas. It's pretty much straightforward. So, fight for it. Many battles are lost and won in the mind because people are not aware that there is a battle going on. But now that we are aware, know that you are not alone. There are these strategies will help you, and there are also people who can help you. If you don't know how to do that, here at Life Coach Philippines, you can just send us a message, and we can help you process the thoughts that are going through your mind. And so, I just want to thank you for taking the time again to listen to me today. As I end this conversation, I also want to invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization of professional certified life coaches. So this afternoon, do join us for another coaching conversation with Coach Tin for Coaching for Relationship at 4 p.m. I would also like to invite you to Master Coach A's actively co-create life coach certification program. This is a 21-day learning journey with daily lessons. There will be 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A, and also 3-day live business bootcamp with senior coaches. So after that, there will also be a 1-month free membership in Coach A Coaching Upskills Blueprint. And you will be also given professional credentials and certificate of completion with online footprints. So the first batch is actually happening. Well, it already started yesterday, but we're still accepting people who are interested. The online coaching calls will be on April 10, 17, and 24. So if you are interested to be part of this group of game changers and change agents, please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 for assistance. Once again, this is Coach Maan from Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Tank. Coaches like us think, and talk like us. This is us from the Philippines. Love, bang, boom. Bye.